This is a brand new Wilier Granturismo SLR, an endurance bike that looks as fast and sleek as a race bike, but one with fat tyres, a rear shock absorber, and a one-piece carbon fibre handlebar and stem. And I come to Flanders in Belgium to put the bike through its paces in this review. We'll test it for comfort, climbing, descending, speed, performance and handling, and go through the details and cool features on the bike and whether it's the right bike for you. So I'm David, you're watching Just Ride Bikes. Let's dive in. The new bike, in my opinion, looks amazing. Not just because it's draped in a beautiful Ferrari red paint job, but the shape of the tube profiles and the handlebar and stem. And Wilier, it's fair to say, is a company best known for its race bikes, like the Flante SLR, which is one of my personal favourite race bikes of the last 10 years. And it's clear with this new bike that they sought to retain that race bike kind of high-end prestige and appearance of the Flante and the Zero SLR, but wrapped up in that more relaxed geometry of the Granturismo SLR. So we have a frame that inherits features, tube profiles, and a carbon fibre layout from its Flante and Zero SLR bikes. We then have aero profiles for the fork blades, the head tube, and a down tube, although clearly not designed to be an out-and-out aero race bike. Then we have a full internal K routing, so the brake hoses and wires are all hidden away for that modern, clean look that many of us crave. And then we have a one-piece carbon fibre handlebar and stem borrowed from the Zero SLR. It not only looks amazing, but it feels great in the hands as well. When you're riding over rough roads or cobbles like we are here, you have that smaller diameter section to hold on, wrap your fingers around, and it feels really good. One of the defining features of this new bike is what they call the ActiFlex 2.0, and gives the bike a much smoother ride over the cobbles I'm riding in Belgium. What they've done is put a small elastomer up here and put the seat stays here around the seat tube, so not connected to the seat tube, to give a bit more compliance, a bit more comfort when you are riding over rough roads. And it really does work. You get that benefit of the extra comfort, but no compromise in terms of how the bike responds. There's no flex side to side when you're really stamping out the pedals and hoofing up a cobble climb. Endurance bikes are all about big tyres for comfort, traction and control. And this new bike has space for up to a 32mm wide tyre. And these are indeed a 32mm wide tyre, the excellent Continental Grand Prix 5000 STR, set up tubeless on these nice carbon rims. And that's good, gives you more comfort than a race bike. But I would have liked if Wilier have gone more generous with the tyre clearance, because some bikes out there will take a 35, even a 38 in some cases. But it's clear that Wilier has sought to keep this very much a racy, performance-focused endurance bike and not go as wide and stray into that all-road, light gravel region that some endurance bikes are, like a Trek Domani for example. And what this bike also lacks compared to some other endurance bikes is any way to mount to mudguards, which in the UK are an essential during the winter. So not quite as versatile as some endurance bikes, and that very much makes it an endurance bike for the road racer who wants all that performance and speed, but a bit more comfort and a slightly more relaxed fit, and doesn't really want or need massive tyres, mudguards and other versatility. Race bikes are great if you can handle the aggressive and low down geometry they often have. But I see too many race bikes with a massive stack of spaces, which looks really bad. So a great feature of the new Granturismo SLR is a geometry that gives you a taller head tube and reduces the need for a big stack of spaces. So you put the handlebars where you actually need them for long rides in comfort and not have all those spaces. As well as that taller head tube, we have a shorter top tube as well to bring the handlebars a bit closer to you, give you a more relaxed fit. Then we have a slacker head angle and seat angle to make it more calm on rough roads and cobbles. But the wheelbase is still quite short, so you should get that agility and responsiveness you want from a race bike. I bloody love riding in Belgium. I'm out here before Tour of Flanders, the best race in the world. I'm going to ride a mini Flanders route with some of the best cobbles and climbs from that race. I'm on the Quermont right now. and that's a Saddleback. Not the toughest cobbles, quite smooth, but it's steep, goes straight up. But thankfully, by the time you get to the really steep bit, you can sort of see the summit, so you know it's almost over. So a bit of a push, the pain doesn't last too long. This is a Koppenberg, probably the toughest climb in the Tour of Flanders and possibly the world. It's steep, it's narrow, it's really bumpy, and it's pretty brutal. I've done it dozens of times and it never gets any easier. So hopefully this Granturismo SLR will give me a bit more comfort on the bumpy bits of the climb. I cannot imagine racing up here in a big peloton, jostling for position. It's going to get really bumpy here, really uneven and a bit slippery as well underneath the trees. Got a bit of wheel spin there. A lot of wheel spin. Riding in Belgium was a lot of fun and a great test for this new bike, and I think it performed extremely well. More comfort than a race bike, like my own giant TCR, which I also rode on the same cobbles over the weekend. A nice relaxed but not too laid back geometry, and all that fizziness I want from a race bike, but slightly dialed back. In my experience, it's on a par with a Trek Domani, one of the smoothest endurance bikes on the market right now when it comes to saddle comfort. But it does lack the same front end comfort and smoothness as a Specialized Roubaix. But generally speaking, it's a well balanced bike from front to rear. I found the riding position worked well for me. The handlebars aren't as slant as a race bike, so you can actually use the drops without hurting your neck and back. But it's not so laid back that it feels lazy like some endurance bikes can. It still has that urgency and agility you want from a race bike, just one that gives you a smoother ride. It climbs well, the weight doesn't really hold it back too much, and there's no discernible flex from the frame at all. It descends with control, you can still get aero on fast roads, and the steering response is good. You can ride it as hard as you like, or sit back and take it easy and enjoy the views. The comfort does give more confidence on rough roads and at higher speeds, and that really benefits people doing longer rides where comfort is a priority but not at the expense of speed. The geometry and the riding position work well for me, and what I like about a taller head tube is how the drops are now more accessible and easy to reach, so you can use them much more often and get more aero and get that benefit without doing your neck in like you would on a race bike, unless you're super flexible. And hands up, you're super flexible. Not many of us. And I like the fact the geometry doesn't give a really lazy, laid back ride. It's still full of fizziness and that agile ride character you want from a race bike. Overall, I found it a lovely bike to ride, and one that suits my riding aspirations well. I like to ride fast when I can, but I don't race, and I do value comfort. The Granturismo for me gets that balance perfectly right. If you're a retired racing cyclist, it's a bike you'll fall in love with straight away. It looks like a race bike but has endurance bike comfort. It does though lack the versatility of some rival endurance bikes, but it does offer a ride closer to a race bike, and that I think will appeal to many people. Let's talk price and build then, and well, the SLR name means it's a top spec bike in the company range, and the price is similarly top end. The range is priced from 7,400 euros right up to nearly 12,000 euros. Crikey. The Ultegra Di2 12-speed bike I have on test with Wilier's own carbon wheels costs 8,400 euros. Yes, that's a lot of money, but hopefully they'll bring out a cheaper SL version soon. All the kit on the bike was generally top drawer and worked really well during my time with the bike. The only thing I would change would be the saddle. It just didn't work for me. But I love the Continental tyres, they work well on the cobbles and are pro approved. The wheels
where they look funky, they're light and solid, and the Shimano Ultegra Di2 12-speed group set is flawless. Impressive shifting, fantastic brakes, all you want from a group set. And a size large bike I tested without pedals weighs 8.3 kilograms.
So I reckon the Wilier Granturismo SLR is a sort of bike more of us should be riding rather than a slammed, aggressive, aero-optimized race bikes. And if you want to see a video of the other best endurance bikes currently available in 2023, do check this video right up here.